Partner with Planting Positive Seeds nonprofit to help girls locally and globally become the best version of themselves. You can help us by donating to one of our initiatives on our website, www.plantingpositiveseeds.com.
Welcome to Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie, a Planting Positive Seeds podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome again to Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie and my special guest on this Planting Positive Seeds podcast. We're here, we plant positive seeds in the lives of others daily. And so I'm so excited about the interview on tonight. You know, I've shared time with our special guest, and we got a chance to meet each other. And so I'm excited to have her on the show so that she can come in and, you know, tell all of my wonderful listeners, all about herself and all about what she's doing in the world. And so I don't want to hold her. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her in. Hello, Ms. Heather. How are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Welcome to Inspirational Talks. I'm so excited to have you here. I know because I met you at the Inspire You Awards, and we had a lovely conversation. So I know some things about you we shared. So I'm so excited that you get a chance to share, with the listeners of Inspirational Talks.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome. So first, I want you, Heather, to share a little bit about yourself with the listeners.
Yeah, so I am a licensed professional therapist or a licensed professional counselor, and I've been in practice for over 10 years. And right now I am the reigning Miss West Tennessee for America. And, when we met at the Inspire You Awards, I had been nominated for the Children's Author of the Year. And that was what brought me there. And so in the middle of my acceptance speech, when I won the award, I mentioned that my pain had purpose, that God gave my pain purpose. And that was writing my children's book based off of my own personal experience. And so now as Miss West Tennessee, I am promoting that platform of how God can give our pain purpose and how we can find purpose in the pain that we've experienced. And so I'm just really excited to be here today to share that with your listeners.
Thank you so much, Heather, and congratulations on Miss West Tennessee. Congratulations again on the award. It's on your Children's Author of the Year award. When we met, I really enjoyed, sitting at the table with you, networking, and just sharing our stories and sharing how God, worked in and through our lives. And even, you discussed that you were a LPC, and so, therapists working and helping others. So I love that. I love, those in the helping professional field, helping others. And it was just an all around, like just a circle of just all that we've accomplished, we've gone through, and then we go back and pour in to other people. And so I want you to share a little bit more about what inspires you to do what you do. I know it's a part of your story, and you shared your story, but from the beginning stages of just what inspired you to go down this road of inspiring others and helping people?
Yeah, so there's actually been a couple of things. I grew up competing in pageants, and so kind of was involved in the pageant world and always enjoyed that. Always enjoyed being on a stage and modeling and acting, and that was just always something that I really enjoyed, and from an early age knew that was something that I wanted to do. Like, I wanted to be on a stage, I wanted to be in front of people, I wanted to connect with people. And then when I was 10, I developed trichotillomania after experiencing some childhood trauma. And trichotillomania is a hair pulling disorder. And so I started around 10 years old, pulling my eyelashes, and then it went to my eyebrows, and then it went to my head. And so through middle school and high school, I just really struggled with low self-worth, low self-esteem. Just really, I was never, thank goodness, bullied. I never had that issue, but just my own personal self, right? Like I hated looking in the mirror. I hated trying to fix my hair. I hated, like, there was just so much that I hated about myself. I hated what happened to me and blamed myself for what happened to me. And there was just all of this like insecurities and lack of self-worth. And then that morphed into codependency, which led me into really unhealthy relationships as an adult, abusive, toxic relationships as an adult. And then dealing with and surviving a narcissistically abusive relationship. And a couple of things happened. Like I realized I was codependent and that came from my self-esteem and how I saw myself. And the other thing was I recognized that it was spiritual as well. Like there was a spiritual component to that. And so with my book, when I was in 2018, I had a client come in. I was working with children. I had a client come in who was 14 years old. She was on the autism spectrum, nonverbal, and she had started pulling her hair. And so her mom had brought her in and said, her occupational therapist said she has trichotillomania, and started giving me all of this information about trichotillomania. And the information was inaccurate. The name was correct, but the information was wrong. And so I went to the internet, and I always connect with children, try to connect with children through books. And so I was looking for a therapeutic book to use with her in session, and there was nothing for children. I could find books for parents, I could find books for adults, I could find books for therapists, but nothing for children. So I sat down and I used my story to loosely used my story to write my children's book, Where's My Hair? A Trichotillomania Story for Children. And then I sent it to my mom, and my mom illustrated the book for me. And wow. I published that in 2018. And that's the book that I won Children's Author of 2023 for at the Inspire You Network Awards. And then I was still, at that time, I was in an abusive relationship with a narcissist. And I didn't realize till the end of that relationship that there was so much spiritual warfare going on, and that I had to start learning how to fight spiritual warfare as well. And that has kind of continued and morphed, and I've continued to grow in that. But seeing that my issues even started before my trichotillomania, because of the heart bondage that the enemy had placed on me as a small child, and learning how as an adult in just the past year and a half, how to overcome that on a spiritual level. It's just made me want to share my story and to talk to people and let them know you're not alone. You can overcome. It doesn't matter what you've been through in life. You can overcome it. You can get through it, and you will come out on the other side a better person. And then you can use that for you to help other people. And to move yourself forward. And that's how we become victors instead of staying victims. And that's kind of just what really inspires me. I want people to be victors in their life. I want them to be spiritually free, emotionally free, and to be living their best life.
Thank you so much, Heather. That was powerful, even just beginning to tell your story. From childhood, from 10 years old, and the childhood trauma and the struggles that you go through. Because many times when people see us today and we're out here and we're doing things and we're winning awards and we're smiling, they don't know, or they take for granted that we may have gone through something, or there may be something in our life, until we share our stories. And I'm thankful that through you networking, through you looking out there to see if there was something out there available to aid your clients, that helped you to birth your own book so that you would have, some that resource to share with others and also share a part of you. I love what you said about, helping people to overcome obstacles and let them know that they can overcome anything. Because that's what I do over here with my books and with, everything. When I came there, I had just done it when we met at the Inspire You Awards. I had won for an impactful journal, and I had done a journal that helped people to, talk about the things that are going on in their life, to allow them to be able to flow. And it had prompt questions so that it could help them to lead them into conversations. And so I truly understand what you mean by, no matter what you're going through, people just have to know that they're not stuck, that this is not the end all be all. So I thank you for sharing that in such, rich conversation about even the self-esteem and also spiritual, battles and things that are going on. Because yes, we are people, and so we have different things that go on with us, but we also have in the spiritual realm, there's so many things. And so prayer, and also just understanding how to use the scriptures and to believe in God and to use what God said to help you to make it through, and to help to overcome all of those things. But you also always have to, talk about them and identify them and express them so that you would know how to identify what they are. And so I thank you so much for just sharing that. I know that the listeners are really loving the conversation, because over here at Planting Positive Seeds at Inspirational Talks, I always shine that light about how do we overcome. And one of the questions that are coming up is going to be sharing something that you overcame, because I want them to hear our stories, to know we're people. We're all people. We all go through things. And just like we've overcame it, like you said, they won't have to be the victim anymore. They can be the victor. And so thank you for sharing that. Heather, I want to ask you about some of your achievements. And, since we've been connected, I've seen a lot of your posts and things. I love seeing you out there doing what you do. And so could you share just some of the highlights and your achievements on your journey?
Yeah, I would love to. So like I said, I am the reigning Miss West Tennessee for America, and I will be competing for Miss West Tennessee for America Strong 2024 in April. And so I'm really excited about that. I was Ms. Woman Colorado, United States 2017. And so I've been in a number of pageants as an adult, and the Miss Colorado United States kind of changed the directory of where I was going. And because of that, I got a sponsorship with Hair Club and a brand ambassadorship with Hair Club. And so I am a Hair Club sponsored by Hair Club. I'm a brand ambassador for Hair Club. I am a Hair Club member. I get to, as a result of that, I've been in their infomercials, I'm in their magazines and their brochures and all of their marketing campaigns. And that has been an honor and a privilege in itself, because they are just amazing. But that being part of Hair Club kind of also set the trajectory for my modeling and for acting and television opportunities. I was on ABC's The Proposal in 2018. I was Colorado, a nominee for Colorado Model of the Year for the Colorado People's Choice Awards in 2019. And so I won, like I said, the Author of the Year for 2023 from the Inspire You Network. And so those are kind of some of the biggest highlights. There's been smaller, accolades along the way, but those are the ones that are really the biggest and stand out the most to me. And it's just been an amazing experience and journey. And I have enjoyed getting to meet so many wonderful and amazing people along the way, and the networking that's been able to happen because of those things.
Yes, that is great. And congratulations on all of the things that you've done in the past and even those that are to come. I love it because you are, flowing in your platform. And as beautiful as you are, you are raising the conversations about things, much needed things with this platform, and being able to showcase and being a part of Hair Club and to do other things. You are a person that people can identify, with when they hear, your points and different things that you are, discussing and that you believe in. And so congratulations. We always do these things that impact lives and change our lives too. And so congratulations on all that you've done. I want to ask you, Heather, about a moment that you had to overcome an obstacle, because like I said earlier, that's one of the things that I love sharing, because I want people to hear how, we've overcame and some of the practical things that we've done. And even if they, saying like they need help, that's the part that they need to do and initiate. I just love asking those questions, because we have a audience of people who are always looking for information. So if you could share with us a time that you've overcame an obstacle along your journey.
Yeah, there's a couple that come to mind, but I think the most impactful for me was, I mentioned that I had been in a relationship with a narcissist, and that was not just a physical relationship. That was a spiritual relationship too. And in the spiritual, there was all kinds of warfare going on. And as a therapist, I am a firm believer that people who struggle with narcissism they are definitely being impacted by the enemy, and there are spirits on them that are meant to destroy others. And so I was in this relationship, and I had lived with him. We had lived together for over a year, probably close to 18 months, when I finally decided to move out, but was not able to completely break away from the relationship. Anybody who's been in a narcissistic relationship knows how hard it is to leave the relationship, because there's such good manipulators. They will draw you back in, they will pull you back in. And so when we weren't living together anymore, I was having a really hard time, really just going no contact with this person. And it had been 9 months since I had moved out of his house, and I developed a migraine. And I had a history of migraines, but this wasn't my typical migraine. This migraine was like I call it an ice pick migraine. It felt like someone had an ice pick, stabbing me in the temples. And it lasted for 30 days. It would not go away. It was constant every day. I went to the eye doctor. I went to the chiropractor. I went to acupuncturist. I was in the emergency room multiple times getting migraine cocktails that weren't touching the pain. I had MRIs, and no one could figure out what was going on or why I was having these headaches. And at this time, I had started developing a routine for myself, and I'd started doing research on narcissism. And one of the things that it had talked about was going no contact with the narcissist. And I was having such a hard time with that. But I had created this nighttime routine for myself, where I would sit in my bathtub with all the lights out, candles lit, and I would watch Elevation Church sermons. And that was what I would do right before I would go to bed every single night. And with this migraine, I started having what they called absent seizures, where I was completely aware of my surroundings, but for 30 or 45 seconds at a time, with no warning, I would not be able to verbally or physically respond to anything. And it got to the point where my kids would be like, "Mom's doing that staring thing again." And clients were recognizing it, because I could hear everything. I was aware and conscious, but I just could not respond. And so one night, it was right at the 30-day mark of having this migraine. I was in my bathtub, and I was watching an Elevation Church sermon, and there was just something in this sermon that was hitting me and speaking to me. And I just sat in my bathtub bawling the whole sermon. And I was actively involved in church at the time. I was going to church and everything. So like, I wasn't sure like what it was about this sermon that was like, just like really speaking to me, but I was in tears the whole sermon. And at the end of the sermon, Stephen Furtick was talking about the importance of baptism and was talking about Jesus being baptized. And so he did an invitation to accept Christ, like many pastors do at the end of the sermon. And I had actually accepted Jesus in middle school, was baptized in high school. But in that moment, I made the decision to dedicate my life back to Christ. And I baptized myself in my bathtub. Like, I dunked myself in my bathtub 3 times. And when I came up the 3rd time, it was like God took over and was like, you know what you need to do. And I picked up my phone and I blocked this person on social media. I blocked him from my text messages, from my phone calls, from my emails. Like, I just blocked him from everything and went no contact, decided I was going to go no contact, and I went to bed. And the next morning when I woke up, my migraine was about half of the pain level that it had been for the past month. And by the next day, it was completely gone. And so I know for me, that was one of the things that I had to overcome. And that was like the spiritual aspect of things, that we always think that what we're dealing with is right there in front of us. But even the Bible tells us that we're not fighting earthly battles. There's a spiritual battle constantly going on. And I think that was exactly what was going on in this situation, because when I decided to give my life back to Christ and try to do different, everything changed. And, so I would just say, like, prayer, the power of prayer and putting your trust in God is like one of the most important things that you can do, no matter what your situation is.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and just sharing your life, because yes, there are so many things that, because the Bible does say we wrestle not against flesh and blood. So many people think that it's the person, but it's spirits in high places. And so, we when we're going through these different things, these battles, we do have to be covered in prayer. We have to make sure that God is the head of our lives. And I apply the blood over me all the time, because you just never know, say what's going on in these certain circumstances. And then like you said before, spirits are out to get us. The enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy, and he doesn't take a day off. So any time that he could, come at us, children of God, believers, he will. And so that's just it. But thank you so much for sharing that, because I know that it's strengthening and empowering, just people to believe in God again, to get baptized, to know where they are, to just look at the reality of what's going on in their lives, no judgment, but to know that you want better, you want to do better, and, leading this path to, getting back in touch with God and being baptized and praying and covering yourself and staying wise. The Bible says, be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove, and to know those that labor among you. And so everyone that, comes at you, I tell my children all the time, if they have a door open in their lives, the enemy can use them against you. And I don't care who the person is. It could be relatives, it could be friends, it could be someone that you're close to. So we just always have to stay prayed up. And so thank you again for sharing that part of your story. I want to change it a bit, and I want to talk about some of the fun things that you do outside of, business, because, we do our business, we have our jobs, but I want to just ask, like, how do you relax, or what are some things that you do to just, have a good time?
Yeah, I love that question. Modeling is so much fun for me. So that's a job that, like, it's work, but to me, it doesn't feel like work. So anytime that it can be in front of the camera, whether it's modeling, acting, I love doing that. That's one of my favorite things to do. But I really enjoy being outdoors. I grew up in Texas. I've lived in Colorado for almost 18 years. And so I just really love being outdoors. And so paddleboarding is one of my favorite things to do. My daughters and we love that. Concerts. I love music. And so I love to go to concerts. I enjoy snowboarding is a lot of fun. It's something that I enjoy doing. Camping, hiking, just being out and outdoors and out in nature, doing really anything. I love being in the sun. I didn't like being in Colorado because it's cold, and I'm back here visiting right now and it's cold and I'm missing Tennessee. But it's just, anything that can get me outdoors and active are really things that I enjoy doing.
Awesome. Those sound like some great things to do. I love being out in the sun too, in nature, just having a good time on the outside. And I'm like you, I don't like the cold places. So if I'm going somewhere, I have on my big puffer jacket. I may have gloves and scarves because I cannot stand a little chill, but I just always have to be ready for it. But those sound like great things. I know, like you said, when you find something that you love, it won't feel like work. And so my thing is that for you, being in front of the cameras. And so that's awesome because, we love what we love. So thank you so much. I always just love asking that question. So thank you so much again. Heather, I wanted to ask you too, I know from earlier, I had to flip back on my notepad because I wanted to ask you, just give 2 steps about how or what did you do to increase your self-esteem. I remember what you were saying when you found out that some things were insecure or self-esteem type issues, because we may have someone that's out there that may be struggling with their self-esteem. So could you give them about 2 steps or just some steps that you took to increase your self-esteem?
Yeah. I'm actually glad that you asked about that because I'm actually in the process of developing a webinar. I created a self-esteem curriculum for my practice that I've been implementing for the past 5 years in a small group setting, but I'm actually working on creating a webinar to offer that in a webinar form to anyone who's interested in building their self-esteem. And I'm also offering it as a train the trainer so that people in the community, other therapists, pastors, youth ministers, organizational leaders, for youth and adults can learn this curriculum and then take it into their areas to work with people to help build people in their community's self-esteem. So I'm really excited about that. But I think 2 of the key things for me was learning that my facts and my truth are 2 different things. I can't change my facts, but the truth is what God says. And so the truth and the facts feel contradictory at times. I can't change the facts, but no matter what my facts are, God says I am a child of God. I am beautifully and wonderfully made. I am all of these things. And so it doesn't matter what my facts are. If I focus on who God says I am, that's the first thing. So you can acknowledge your facts, but also acknowledge the truth and know that the truth covers the facts. And the other thing is learning to challenge the messages that come from our facts, because it's easy to say, I'm worthless, I am fat, I am ugly, I am whatever that message is from whatever you've experienced. We have to learn how to challenge those messages with that truth when they come up. So when we can acknowledge the truth that I am loved, I am beautiful, I am all of these things. When that negative message comes, we have to challenge that head on with the truth. No, I might not be a size 0, but I'm working on living a healthier lifestyle. I might not be where I want to be professionally, but I work hard every day to be better. but challenge that message. Like, don't own that negative message. Challenge it, what the truth is. And those are some of the things that I actually teach in the webinars, how to do some of those things and how we can acknowledge those. And just positive affirmations is a huge one. If you can give yourself positive affirmations, that's a big thing. And learning how to tell yourself, look at yourself in the eyes in the mirror and saying, I love you.
Yes. Oh, wow. I love that. I love everything that you said. And I know that they're writing notes. I know that they're taking notes out there, but those were really, really good tips. I love how you said, learn that your facts and your truth are two different things. And I know I usually would tell people that, what would I say about my emotions, the emotions and your feelings? I don't know, something like that. But I love what you said. I love how you said it. That was really good. And to challenge those facts, because we do have to hear what comes into our mind, and like you said, challenge that. So that is really great. I'm so excited about those and those affirmations. I love affirmations too. I will write them down on sticky notes, put them in my bathroom mirror, get up in the morning and say them. Or I even have affirmations that come to my phone, like on a timed basis. And, I just look down and read it, read it out loud. And so I really, really, really love those. And congratulations on everything that you're about to do. My next question is going to be, can you discuss some of your upcoming projects that you have coming up? So I'm so excited to hear about what's coming next for you, Heather.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm excited about the webinars. I'm actually holding a webinar for the Train the Trainer training tomorrow, to start talking to professionals about that training and what that's going to look like. So I'm super excited about that. But I am working on a collaboration called Reigning Resilient Queens. You met my friend Genesis at the Inspire Awards, and Genesis is heading up this project. It's been something that's been in the works for over a year now, for almost a year and a half now. And we've run into like challenge after challenge after challenge, but we keep talking about how okay, there's something with this book, because the challenges that we're running into should not be challenges. It's something in the spiritual, because this book is going to be impactful, because it is a group of women who've come together, each of us contributing individual chapters of what we have gone through in life and how we overcame it. And so all the book is about is inspiring and encouraging women through our stories and encouraging them to be victors instead of victims. And there's everything from I share about my narcissistic abuse. In my chapter, there are women who have overcome cancer that are sharing their stories. There are women who have been, shot, who are sharing their stories. And so it's going to be an amazing project that's going to be more than just a book. Like, we're really trying to turn this into a movement of empowering men and women. Genesis is going to have Reigning Resilient Kings. And then she's even wanting a teen version of this. And so this is a project that I'm super, super excited about being part of. And so those are the two things that are like kind of really coming up immediately. But I'm also working on a project that is going to be for Christian women who have found themselves in narcissistically abusive relationships, and how to overcome that, not just in the physical, but in the spiritual as well.
That is fantastic. Oh, yes. Just inspiring everything that you and Genesis and that you're partnering to do and other women coming together with the book, with your webinar, for the young girls and for other professionals to help them help their people and their community. And even with this book, with the project, impacting lives, inspiring others. Congratulations, Heather. I'm just so excited to, even see it coming to fruition. Thank you for just your diligence in, impacting other people's lives and making, a way for them to heal and a way for them to share their stories so that they can overcome, the things that they've gone through in their life. So I'm so excited about it. Congratulations in advance for all of the good things that you all are doing, that you and your team are doing. So congratulations again. Well, this has been a great conversation. Connecting with you again, it's been really, really great. And I know, right? I'm so excited just to, know someone who is, who we have differences, but we have some similarities. And so just for you to be in your part of, in Tennessee and over the world and Colorado and everywhere, doing what God has placed in your heart to do. So congratulations again. I just want to take this moment that if you have any final thoughts or anything that we didn't mention or I didn't bring up, if you want to share it with the audience, please feel free to share it now.
Yeah, I think I just want to leave them with this message. And this is my platform message, that God gave my pain purpose. And if you will give your life to him and you will trust in him, he will give yours purpose too. And he will move you from a victim to a victor. And it doesn't matter what you have gone through or what you have been through. You don't have to stay where you are. You have a choice, and everything that we do in life is a choice. And you always have a choice to be better and to do better. And if you will just give it all to him, he will do that. His word promises that he will work everything for the good of those who trust in him. And he has not failed in that. Like, I've seen it in my own life, and I know if he can do it for me, he can do it for others as well.
Amen. Can I say amen to that? Amen. Thank you so much. I just felt like, so encouraged just hearing it. And I know that the listeners will feel that also, that, hey, you can be better. You have a choice. Don't get stuck. Thank you so much. And God is, in control. And yes, he said, well, he's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And so
yes, amen.
He can do it again. Thank you so much, Miss Heather Brooke, for coming to Inspirational Talks to share your story, to share this time with us. I really want to thank you on behalf of all of the listeners that are out there that will listen to your episode and will grow and will become stronger. Share with them right before we leave a way that they can connect with you if they want to follow you, so that they can follow you on your journey.
Yeah, I'm on my personal website, www.heatherbrook, BROOKELPC.com. And then I'm on Facebook and Instagram, Heather Brooke Model, and TikTok, it's Heather D. Brooke.
All right. So thank you so much. You have it there. Go follow her. Make sure that you even get a copy of her book. You can share it to give some awareness and have resources for your community, your schools, your libraries. So make sure that you connect with her. I'll have all her information down in the show notes. Once again, Heather, I want to thank you so much for coming to Inspirational Talks. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Have a blessed night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Hi, this is Heather Brooke, Miss West Tennessee for America. If you would like to support me on my journey to Miss Tennessee for America 2024, I would love to have you come alongside me as a sponsor. I'm offering SASH sponsorships for $25. You can send me a Venmo to @HeatherBrookeLPC or a Cash App to $HeatherBrookeLPC in the amount of $25 with the memo SASH sponsor and your name or business as you would like it listed. If you're a business owner, also include an email and I'll email you a tax-deductible receipt for advertising.
This has been another purpose-packed episode of Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie, a Planting Positive Seeds podcast. Please remember to like, share, and tell your friends about the podcast. Stay tuned for many more Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie.